Hey everyone. I went to the library earlier today to pick up the latest book that was ready for me to pick up, and I realized it's been a while since I've done a library haul. So, this is my current library haul plus plus an ebook that's on my phone. So, let's get started. I guess I'll start off with the ebook. And what I have checked out is the first book on my library haul is The Girlfriend by Michelle Francis. And this is, as you can see, it was made into an Amazon original, I guess Amazon TV series. So I am reading it for the podcast, but this is what I have, and then everything else is physical. So I finally finished Lord of the Rings. I know that was on my library haul for the longest time, but it's a really thick book and it took me a while to get through it, but that was the last of my Pop Sugar Reading Challenge books for 2025, so I can officially get started on the 2026 Pop Sugar Reading Challenge. And number one on the list is a book where gardening or a garden is central to the plot. So I chose to read The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. I just started it, so I'm not very far into it. Obviously, it's a classic. I've heard about this book forever, but I have never read it. So I'm excited to read it because I know this is one of those like classic children's books. So yeah, and this cover is really, really pretty. And so that's that one. Next is I'm still catching up on Dua Lipa's Service 95 book club, and this is her March pick. So her March pick is Bad Feminist by Roxane Gay, and I'm really excited to read this. I've read Hunger. I own a copy of Hunger, and I've read Hunger by Roxane Gay, and I've always wanted to read this one. So it's been on my TBR for the longest time, and then as TBRs go, my TBR just kept growing and growing and growing, and I was just never able to read this one. So I'm excited to finally be getting to it. This is the one I just picked up today, so I haven't started it at all, but I'm probably going to start it tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. Yeah, but I'm excited to read this and to finally cross it off of my TBR. Next up is Thrive by Arianna Huffington. The third metric to redefining success and creating a life of well-being, wisdom, and wonder. I'm almost done with this one. I'm probably going to finish it within the next few days. But yeah, it's a standard self-help book. I think there's good things in here, but self-help isn't really my genre, but I'm reading it because it is written by Arianna Huffington, and I'm trying to read a lot more books by like female leaders and CEOs and things like that. So I don't read enough of that, so that I'm reading this one, and I am enjoying this one a lot more than other like self-help books that I've read. Next is Black Arms to Hold You Up, A History of Black Resistance by Ben Passmore, who is an Ignatz and Eisner Award winner. But I am almost done with this one as well. It is a graphic novel, so I'll probably finish this one as well and then within the next few days. But I'm really enjoying it so far. There's a lot of history of Black resistance that I'm not aware of or never even heard of. Not surprising that we didn't learn these things. So I'm glad I picked this up and am checking it out. So yeah, I'm liking it so far. Next, I have On the Line by Serena Williams with Daniel Peisner. This is Serena Williams' memoir that was released in 2009, so it's fairly old at this point, like considering how much she's accomplished since 2009, but yeah, I mean, I'm liking it. And the main reason I wanted to pick this one up is I watched the Being Serena documentary series on HBO and I liked it, but there was a lot of stuff that I don't know. I don't feel like I got to know a lot about Serena. It felt very carefully curated, which makes sense. She was involved in it and it's about her and it's what she wants to portray. But like so far I'm learning so much more about her and who she is as a person. And there was the Indian well, like I'm not a huge tennis. I don't follow tennis. But obviously I know Serena is one of the greats. And so I did want to check out the documentary series to learn more a little bit about her because I don't really know anything about her and other than her name. And yeah, so the documentary mentions Indian Wells, and that this is her first time returning in years and that she hadn't been back after the incident, her previous experience there. And it didn't really go into details as to what was there. And I just finished reading what happened to her there. Obviously, very, very traumatizing, very horrifying experience to go through, especially she was just 19. Like, you're still a baby at that point. So I understand that she maybe didn't want to relive it again because it's such a painful thing. But I also, it was like, I just, like, the documentary didn't go into detail either for those of us that were watching wanting to get to know more about her. Maybe if you're like a hardcore fan, there was a lot of stuff in there mentioned that you already knew about her. But like I said, I'm learning so much more. She's so honest, and I'm learning so much more about her and who she is or was back in 2009 than I did from her documentary. So I kind of wish her documentary had a little bit more of the just willingness to be open, even the good parts, the bad parts of you. I just wish it had been a little bit more like this because I'm really enjoying this one. Next, we have The Help by Kathryn Stockett. This is another one that's been on my TBR since I watched The Help when it premiered in 2011. And yeah, it's been on my TBR since then. Kept growing, kept choosing other things over this one. So finally, I'm picking it up and I'm reading it. The Help by Kathryn Stockett. And finally, I am reading finally in my library haul. It's not there's other books I'm reading on top of these. But that is The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks by Rebecca Skloot. And as you can see here, this was now an HBO film starring Oprah Winfrey and Rose Byrne. This is obviously old because the film came out in 2018. It's been out for a while. So I wanted to pick this up because kind of like the Serena documentary, the film, just like the book it's based off, is called The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks. I didn't feel like I learned much, if anything, about Henrietta Lacks. So I was like, I think that's a sign I need to read the book so I actually know about her. There's like little bits and pieces included in the film. Like, we know why she's known as being immortal, but Henrietta as a person, didn't learn much about her. Learned a lot more about her family and her daughter, who's played by Oprah. So I don't know. But I mean, it's called Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks. Obviously, her family is important, and the things that they discovered about Henrietta after she had already passed. Like, I'm not saying her family isn't important, but we learned next to nothing about Henrietta. So I'm reading this so I can finally know who Henrietta Lacks is. So that is it for this library haul. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you recently checked out from the library. And yeah, I will see you. Of course, all these things popping up. See you later. Bye.